to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be talking about series that I want to continue reading. So the premise for this video is self-explanatory. These are series that I want to continue reading. So for this video, pretty much all of the books in this video that I'm going to mention, all the series in this video that I'm going to mention, are series that are already completed or series that have like a substantial amount of books that I need to catch up on. That's kind of the premise for this video. I am going to be doing a separate video on series that I want to continue reading, but I am waiting for the next book to come out, or I only have like one or two books like left to read. So there's a couple on that video that'll be a series that with a second book that came out in 2025 and a upcoming book coming out in 2026. But all of these ones are either ones that I've got a lot of books to catch up on or they're already completed. So I think I've got 15 series on this list to talk about. Obviously I have quite a few more that I could mention as well, but these are ones where I've for the most part read like a continuation of the book, or maybe even the first book in the series, or one of the books in the series this in 2025, and I want to kind of continue in 2026 and hopefully finish the series. So I have some that I don't own books for, so I'm going to talk about those first, and then we will dive into the ones I have copies of. So first on the list I have is the Plated Prisoner series. I read book 1 this year, which is called Guild, and I really enjoyed that one and gave it 4 stars. So Glint is the next book, that is book 2, that's the one that I need to read, and I'll probably be listening to the audiobooks for these because they are available through my library, and they are quite long books. So it's a fantasy series which I think came out quite a few years ago, but I want to kind of read that one. It's up to date, it's like a completed series, so if I read those kind of back to back I should be able to get that read. Then I have the Montgomery Inc. series. Now I've read quite a few of the books in this series so far. I'm up to book 3.5, which is Finally Found You. This one's obviously a short novella, but I am reading the series in order. This is a series following the Montgomery family, and there is a very expansive world that Carrie Ann Ryan has written. We have this main series following the Montgomery family, and then there are like branches off of the series. So there's the Montgomerys of different places in the US. I think there's Fort Collins, I think, and this one's like the Denver lot, and there's lots of different interconnected series that connect back to this family, but I want to read this core series to start with. There are a lot of books in this series, so I think I will have plenty to work my way through in 2026, and we'll see how far I can get with them. I think there's like 10 in the Montgomery Inc. series, and then there goes like Montgomery Inc. Colorado Springs, Montgomery Inc. Boulder, Montgomery Inc. Fort Collins. So there's a lot of like connected series to this, so plenty to catch up on, and I really enjoy Carrie Ann Ryan's writing. She writes really good like family books that follow lots of different characters, which I really love. Then we have the Willow Creek Valley series by Corinne Michaels. I read book 1 this year and really had a good time with it, so I want to continue on. And the next book I have to read is Could Have Been Us, which is book 2. And this one is a small town romance series, and it looks like book 2 is going to be a friends to lovers but brother's best friend romance, which is one of my favourite tropes, so I'm definitely looking forward to diving into that. Then we have the Love and Hockey series by Lauren Blakely. I read book 3 in this series this year and absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. That was the proposal play. And book 1 is the Boyfriend Goal, which I want to get into. And this one is a brother's teammate romance as well, so that it sounds like it's going to be a great time. I've read a few Lauren Blakely books this year, and she's definitely an author that I want to check out more from. Then we have The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. I read book 1 this year and enjoyed it, and it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, so I want to continue on. And book 2 is The Hunted Heir. This series is available on Kindle Unlimited, and it is a fantasy series, which I definitely want to finish. There's 3 books, so I've only got 2 left to read, and they're quite short as well, so I think I can get through those quite quickly. And then the last one that I don't own any books for is the Almond Bay series by Megan Quinn. I read the first book this year and really had a good time with it. It wasn't quite a 5-star read, but it was a good time, and I want to continue on. And book 2 is the one that I have next to read, and that is The Reason I Married Him. And this one is a marriage of convenience romance, and I just really love Megan Quinn's writing. I've really got back into her books recently, so I definitely want to continue on with that series. Now I have some books that I own physically. So I have been rereading the Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J Maas, and I'm up to book 3. I've already reread books 1 and 2 this year, and book 3 is the next one that I have to read, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin. I don't unfortunately have a physical copy of this anymore. I used to have it in this edition, which I loved, but sadly I got rid of it, which I really regret doing now. So I do need to get a physical copy of that, but that is what I want to finish off the series, because I only ever read the first 3 books the first time around when they were kind of first being released, but I never read books 4 and 5, which I obviously want to do, so that's why I'm rereading the series so I can get to those books. Then we have the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh. I have really been enjoying this series so far this year. I've read up to books 4, and this is book 5, Taming 7, which is the next one I have to read. My library unfortunately doesn't have Taming 7 or Releasing 10, like the audiobook, which is how I want to read this, because I read the other 4 books by audio, and the audiobooks are so good. So I might be using one of my Audible credits, or hoping my library gets them in the new year. But I do really want to continue on with this series. I don't know when another book's coming out in this series. I don't think there's been any announcement, so part of me doesn't want to get caught up because I don't want to run out of things to read, but I do really love this series. And this one is going to be Gibbsie's book, and Gibbsie is one of my favourite characters. He's just so funny, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy this one. Then we have the Playing for Keeps series by Becca Mack. I don't own book 1, which is called Consider Me, I think. Yeah, Consider Me. And this is book 2, which is called Play With Me. I read book 4, I want to say, earlier this year, and really enjoyed it, and definitely want to read this rest of the series. The covers for this series are so pretty, and these are sports romances. It's another hockey series, and yeah, I definitely want to read on with this one and see what I make of it, and hopefully I will really enjoy it. Then we have I'll just grab these next books. Then we have the Love Light Farm series by B.K. Borison. I've read book 1 this year and enjoyed it, and I definitely want to continue on with this series. This is a small town romance series, and the next book is called In the Weeds, and each book in this series is set around a different season, and I really want to read more of B.K. Borison's books. I recently read Good Spirits, which I liked, but I didn't love as much as everyone else did, so I'm hoping that I will really enjoy the rest of this series. I love small town romances. Then we have the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I am up to book 4 in this series, which is The Goal. I have listened to the audiobooks of the previous books, and I will definitely be listening to the audiobook of this one. I've got all of the books on audio, and this is a college hockey romance series, which I really love, so I'm hoping to finish this series off this year in 2026. Then we have the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. We've got 3 Elsie Silver series that I'm going to be mentioning here. I read book 1 in this series in 2025, and I thought that one was okay. I gave it 3 stars. This one's book 2, a photo finish, and I just really want to catch up on this series and get up to date with all of her books, so I will be reading that hopefully. Then we have the Rose Hill series, and I only have 1 book left to read in that series, and that is Wildcard. This came out at the end of 2025, so I haven't yet got to this one. I've only recently read Wildside, which came out earlier in 2025, but this is the last one in this series, and I do want to read this one. I've heard really good things about this one. This is a ex-boyfriend's dad trope, which I haven't read a lot of, but I do really enjoy the ones that I have read, so I'm definitely eager to pick that one up. Then we have the Chestnut Springs series, which is going to be turned into a TV show, I feel. I've seen online. I don't know where they are up to in the terms of making the TV show, but I've heard that the rights have been bought for it. So if it does get turned into a TV show, I definitely will be watching it. And I've only actually read the first 2 books in the Chestnut Springs series. So Powerless is the next one that I have to read, and I can't wait to get into this one. This one says it's childhood's best friends, which I love that trope. So I definitely want to get into this one. Hopefully sooner rather than later, and I want to obviously continue on with the series. And the last one I have is the Powerless trilogy. So this is Fearless, which is book 3 in the trilogy, and then I also have the novella that she wrote, which was Fearful, which I haven't got to yet. I'm terrible, but I really want to conclude this trilogy and see how the story wraps up. I want to read this as soon as I can, so that because the story is relatively fresh in my mind, even though I read Reckless quite a while ago, I feel like I can still remember a decent amount of the story to dive into book 3. But if I leave it any longer, I'll have to reread the rest of the books, which I wouldn't necessarily mind doing, but I don't have time necessarily to reread a bunch of books, so I need to get to this one ASAP, and that hopefully will happen in 2026, and hopefully I'll enjoy it because I have heard mixed things about this one. But they are all of this series that I want to continue on with and hopefully complete. Whether I get to these, I really couldn't say, but I hope I do, and we will see how I get on with those, and obviously you'll hear about it in my future videos if I do manage to read these. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what series you wish to continue on with, and I will see you in my next one.